Hi guys, and welcome to another video on my art channel Sophie Art. Today I got again inspired by another YouTuber. This time it's Hullo Alice. I hope I spelled that correctly, I'm sorry. But I watched her gouache video with the jelly gouache paints, and she painted a leaf plant that I know from my own garden. And I got really inspired to make a leaf painting then. I didn't want to make exactly the same plant because that felt like copying. So I went outside in my garden and photographed some plants and ended up with another leaf-based plant, which also has a pattern on it, though not such a colorful one, but I still really love them and they make great pictures. So yeah, that's what I chose, and then I started with the painting. I used two different paints, even though both are from Daler Romney. I like the ones that I got in my scroller box ones way more because they have a much thicker texture and they are not as translucent as the other ones. But I didn't have a green in my scroller box set, so that's why I needed the other ones. I tried mixing a green with the scroller box paints too, but it's way darker. You can see it on the upper palette that I have. That's the scroller box mixed paints. And the shinier green, that's the other Daler Romney paints that I had. I mainly chose gouache because Hullo Alice used them too, but I thought like they are the right thing here because acrylics aren't as dilutable and don't act as much as watercolors, obviously. And I love making art with watercolors, but I wanted not so translucent look this time. That's why I often end up with gouache when I'm trying to make a less translucent artwork. I do really need to expand my collection on gouache paints though. I only really have the ones from Scrawlrbox, and the other ones, as I already told you, are not my favorite. It's a bit hard though, because I don't know which ones I should buy now since they are both Daler Romney. If any of you guys know some good gouache paints, please let me know in the comments. I could try the ones that Hullo Alice used though. That might be another video idea, testing them out too. I haven't really looked into them yet. I mean price-wise, I have looked at the artworks others created with them and a video like Hullo Alice made it. But she was more like, she didn't hate them, but they are also not the best ones. And maybe there are better ones for the same price that you can recommend. Otherwise, I feel like testing them out anyway, so maybe we'll see that in the future. Though not the closest future. As some of you who are from Instagram might already know, I'm going into a very intensive studying phase for my med school application test, which is something really important to me. And it's really hard to get in there. The chance of getting in is around 8% this time, because they are like 10,000, I think it's 13,000 or so people, but only around 550 places. So there's not a high chance, but I'm trying my very best and I'm studying so much since I think January or February, and now I'm getting in the intensive phase where I study like basically the whole day. I just take breaks for stuff like that because I want to make art videos for you guys. But I can't promise that I'm going to post every week. There might be a week where I can't make it, and I hope that's okay for you guys. I just wanted to let you guys know, if it happens, I'm going to, of course, try my best that it won't happen, and I have a few pre-produced videos, but I don't know if I'm going to make it every week. There are a lot of videos planned, and I'm definitely planning some videos like the gouache one after the test, but the next month is not going to be the one where I'm going to try out as much new stuff. This video I planned as soon as I saw Hullo Alice artwork, and it took me a while, as you can see, to post it. I hope you guys appreciate it. I had so much fun creating it, and I was quite proud at the end. It took some time, and that's something I realized watching Hullo Alice's video too. At the beginning I was like, well, that's pretty basic structures. And then she went over the structures over and over again, and through the layers and through working on it, it really turned out so awesome. And I was trying basically the same technique as she used, or as I interpreted it in watching her video. I started with basic shapes, and then I started modeling around and trying to figure out how to get the right colors and everything. Getting the right colors was the hardest step for me, mainly because of the lack of right paint. Because the other one is so translucent that I couldn't really build as much as I wanted to. So I needed to add more of the scroller box colors. And then it ended up being too dark or too white or too olive colored because they were more brighter colors originally. But I just decided to go with that rather than having this super translucent look. And at the end, what I learned is it's really not about that much detail. It's a little less detail that made it at the end look better. At first I tried to really blend the structures into each other, but it didn't look that good from especially further away because it just blended too much into each other. And then going over the shapes over and over again, at first I was too blocky, obviously, and after adding more colors and more shades, I went too detailed, and then I started adding lighter colors and yellowisher colors because the leaves on the bottom that I photographed were already starting to dry out. So I tried to add that with a little more yellow. And then at the end I added highlights and whiter yellow and whites. And that's what really brought the painting together at the end. And what also really helped, in my opinion, was adding the shadows. Because at the beginning it was just this leaf and then the other kind of shapes around it. And it looked a little bit like a child painting. But with the shadows from behind, it got so much more 3D, and that really helped it. Looking at it now, you have the more detailed two bottom leaves where I worked a lot on, and then the newer leaves at the left side, and you kind of see the two stages that didn't really work out that well. The bottom ones are too much blended and they look not really realistic. They look kind of like strange color mixes. And the other ones just look like I made a finger painting as a kid. At least I have one that looks very similar. But that's kind of the point very often in painting, that you start off with easier shapes and then you work on it till it gets the way you like it. And it's basically about not giving up too soon. I know the struggle of sometimes working on a painting and at the end you are like, well, that just did not turn out. It got worse and worse. And I know that, but most of the time, the more you work on an artwork, the better it gets. The way I improved my art was basically by taking longer for the same artwork, by adding layers that I didn't add earlier, by adding some detail that I tried out one time and that worked really great, and then it's my daily routine in making this kind of thing, whatever I'm talking about. Like especially a leaf. Like I started with this blocks as a kid and then I tried out different things. Sometimes I also try out things that don't work that well, as for example the blending too much. But that's kind of what art always was for me, trying out and seeing what works. And not giving up is very important in that process, because there is a possibility to make mistakes and try out something that doesn't work. But the more you try out, statistically, the more you're gonna figure out about how you like something. And what's also really important in my opinion is that art isn't that this has to be this way thing. It's more about how do you like it. And that's something I forgot for a while, because I was looking at all of these super realistic portraits, for example, and I'm trying to make my portraits look as realistic as they can, but it's not really what I was going for, and wasn't really my style and not what made me happy. I was just trying to fit into that box. But art should be more about what you like and not you trying to fit into something. And that's a very important lesson for me to learn. And with that very important lesson, I'm going to end this week's video. I hope you guys had fun. It was a really important painting for me because I wanted to make it for so long, and then finally I had the time and it actually turned out kind of cool. So that's really, really great. And thank you, Hullo Alice, for the great idea. If for some reason you ever happen to see this video, I am really inspired by your art, and I can only recommend everyone to watch your channel. And it's, by the way, guys, linked in the video description. I'm not sure, I think I will just link the video I'm referring to. And that might be your next video, or you're going to watch one of mine. It's up to you. And with that very weird self-promo, I'm going to end it. Finally, I wish you guys a wonderful week, and we will see each other in my next video. Bye!